Hey y'all, it's Kate from the Apothecary and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is what I call a graduation book haul. Recently I graduated with my MLIS degree. That's a Master's in Library and Information Science degree. This has been what I've been in school for the last 5 years. It took me 5 years to complete this degree and I'm so happy that it's done. I learned a lot in this degree and some classes were way better than others. How do I celebrate this momentous occasion? What better way than going to the bookstore? Barnes & Noble had some amazing sales and I spent way too much money, got more books than I planned on, but I'm so excited for all of these books. So I'm gonna go really quickly through these books because I don't really know what a lot of these are about, but I will talk about what attracted me to these books and I am so excited for these. So first up we have The Lost Bookstore by Evie Woods. First of all, I love this cover. Second of all, anytime that there is bookshop, library, librarian, book owner, etc. in the title, I'm immediately hooked and drawn in. And so I saw The Lost Bookshop and I thought that sounds like a book for me. I read the back. It says, on a quiet street in Dublin, a lost bookshop is waiting to be found. And that drew me in. I heard from a friend at work that this is supposed to be really good. She was recommended this book by another coworker. So I am really excited to jump into this once my TBR lightens up, of course. Next book up is a book that I actually heard about via BookTube, which is rare for my books because a lot of times I'm still trying to play catch up. This is a recent book I heard of BookTube. Leslie at the Nerdy Narrative read this for her book club and absolutely loved it. That is The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich. I don't know anything about this book, but Leslie loved it, so I know I will most likely love it. So I had to pick it up when I saw it on the buy one get one half off sale. Our next book up is a book that I don't really know a lot about, but I was intrigued. I know some people on BookTube have read it and loved it. That's God Killer by Hannah Kaner, a Fallen Gods novel. I love this cover. It drew me in immediately. And the back says, enter a land of gods and monsters, soldiers and mercenaries, secrets and wishes, the explosive #1 internationally best-selling fantasy debut in a new trilogy for fans of The Witcher and Gideon the Ninth. Now, I haven't read either of those two books, The Witcher or Gideon the Ninth. I've seen the show The Witcher and I own Gideon the Ninth, and I know Leslie has loved Gideon the Ninth, and I know that Leslie loved Gideon the Ninth, and she says I probably would love it too. So I thought I would probably love this book too if I loved the Witcher TV series, and I will probably love Gideon the Ninth. Why not give it a shot? And it's a pretty short book in comparison to some others, so I thought, you know what, let me just give it a shot. Which is also a theme of this book. Another theme is bright colors on the covers. Most of these, except for The Measure, are pretty much cover buys for me. And I guess God Killer too, because I had heard of that. But the others I hadn't heard of. This next book up, I've heard of the author before. I did not hear of the book. I have not read the author yet, though I own her first book, Atlas 6. That is Olivia Blake. And Masters of Death. This cover really drew me in. I thought this looks like such a fun book. Trey, if you are watching this, look away because it has sprayed edges, and I know you hate sprayed edges, but I just loved the look of this book so much. It looks like a fun book. Our back says there is a game that the immortals play. There is only one rule, don't lose, and that's got me intrigued. Now I have to read it, and it's a beautiful book. I love it, and I can't wait to dive into this. Now we get into the hardcover categories where Barnes & Noble had 50% off hardcovers, so you know this girl couldn't resist. All three of these books were absolute cover buys. I know nothing about I knew nothing about them or their authors, but their covers brought me in. The first one up is The Last Blood Carver by Vanessa Lee. This cover reminded me of Firekeeper's Daughter. This cover was not the one I had in mind. There's another cover of The Firekeeper's Daughter that looked very similar to this one, and so it immediately drew my eye. The bright colors drew my eyes in. I just loved everything about it. The only thing deadlier than her secret is her truth, is what it says up on the top. I flipped open the inside cover. Says, Nika is a blood carver, a cold-hearted, ruthless being who can alter human biology with just a touch. And that seriously hooked me. I love that the naked hardcover is red with this awesome spine here, and it's kind of engraved with principles of the sixfold, which I don't know what that means, but I will find out once I read this book. I can't wait to read this. It sounds like it's just up my alley, and based on the back and the front, based on the two characters that we see, it looks like it's an Asian book, which I always am looking to diversify my reads. I didn't want to assume just by the author that it was Asian, because it might be Asian American, might just be someone who has an Asian family name. But based on the characters, they look like they're Asian, so I am really excited to diversify my reading and get into this book. It looks like it's a really, really fun book to read. And it's got some great quotes by some authors, like the author of The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea, The Ones We're Meant to Find, Violent Delights. So some really Legend, Marie Lu, some really great author names of blurbs on the back. So I am really looking forward to diving into this one. The next book up is another one that was 50% off, of course. This one, it looks like it's a thriller, maybe a YA thriller. The Legacies, Money Talks, Secrets Kill by Jessica Goodman, who is the author of They'll Never Catch Us, which means nothing to me, but maybe it means something to you all. And I read the inside cover like the other one, backstabbing, betrayal, blackmail, and honestly, it had me at that. A thriller with backstabbing and betrayal in it, for some reason, really caught my eye when I was at the bookstore. I can't really explain it, but it did. And it takes place, looks like, in New York City. Scoring an invitation to the Legacy Club in New York City is more than an honor. Gives lifetime access to power and wealth beyond any prep school doors. Guaranteed security as club members always look out for their own. That is, after making it through a rigorous week of events, an extravagant gala, the Legacy Ball. So I am really excited to see what this book is all about. Let's see. This is kind of like a dark blue purple. The spine is pretty plain, but I love when there are different colors of the naked hardbacks. And then the last book up I have on this list really caught my eye, and I already added it to my pile before I knew anything about it. That's because look at this cover. This cover with all of its colors and its swirls reminded me of these two books that I was sent by Stacy, which I haven't read yet, but still really want to read. A Venom, Dark and Sweet, and A Magic Steeped in Poison. They had similar vibes to me. This is a YA book club from Barnes & Noble. Threads That Bind by Kika Hatzpolio. I don't know how to say that name, so I completely butchered it probably. But I am so excited to see what this book is all about. The colors really drew me in. And I did read I read the very first sentence on the inside jacket. Descendants of the Fates are always born in threes. That, it goes on to explain what the threes are. one to weave, one to draw, one to cut the threads that connect people to the things they love and to life itself. Honestly, I just read the first part of it. Descendants of the Fates are always born in threes, and I was hooked. I was already adding to this pile just because of the cover, and then I was hooked and excited to read it, and I can't wait to find space for it. I can't wait to see what this book is all about, and I love reading about the Fates because they're so fascinating to me. So that is my graduation book haul. Let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these books. What did you think of them? Did you love them? Did you hate them? Did you like them? Which ones should I start with if I'm going to start with any of these? Which ones do you think I would like the most? And as always, keep reading, and I love you all to the moon and back. Bye.